I told his wife it was the second best speech of the night last week as Danny Tarkanian wowed him. I mean, he was brilliant on the stump with the President of the United States. The only guy that did a better speech was the President. Sorry. Danny Tarkanian with us in the house. Good morning, Danny.
Wow, you put the President above me.
I'm sorry, but I got to call him as I see him.
Does he appear regularly on your show?
He does not. Okay.
I got to get the benefit of the doubt then.
No.
You know, look, that speech that I gave, I thought it really came off really well. And I wanted to get the public engaged in it, the audience people.
You did.
Well, it was all a friend of mine, Pete Sapolis, put together that promises made, promises kept. And it's funny because that was also, I guess, a theme of the rally, but we didn't know that when he made that. I mean, we had talked about the speech 2 or 3 days before we even saw what the rally would look like. So my whole speech was made on those premises, and it was from my friend Pete Sapolis. And then we have signs up that say that, and the crowd got into it. So it all came together very nicely.
What happens on take us behind the scenes. Do you have to submit the speech to the president's people, to the White House, to speechwriters? I mean, does everybody get to say what they want to say?
Yeah, we didn't have to submit it to anybody. I just assumed that they feel that we're going to say something positive. No one's going to be invited to speak to in front of the president's rally if you're not going to have something positive to say about the president, right?
Yeah. And by the way, what did you think? I know you were there in the VIP section. What did you think of the president's speech? I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah. You know, unfortunately, we were behind and where the bleachers are at, and the acoustics was not good enough for us to hear very well. I only caught every third thing he said. I guess he said some very nice things about me, and they kept saying, "Oh, go out there and acknowledge him." So I didn't know what he was saying, but I was waving and acknowledging him. We have it taped, and we're going to take a look at it. My wife and I haven't had a chance to catch our breath yet.
You will be pleased.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really good. Then you got up early the next morning and you did a fundraiser where you guys raised like tons of money with the president. Tell me what it's like to be there with the president, interacting, joking with him, talking with him.
Well, first of all, when you say tons of money, that's not necessarily the case, because for the president's fundraisers, he requires, or the people putting on the event require a huge number to attend. So you had to pay $50,000 to attend as a couple to the round table, and then $15,000 if you just wanted a picture taken with them. I'm not sure what we did with it, but whatever it was, it's going to be great. The experience for me, just to sit there and watch everything and how he interacts with people, he's exactly the same in that type of a meeting as he is out on the stump speech, out with the public. He spent the first 10 minutes telling people how important my race was and Dean's race and asking where we're at. Then he spent about 10 minutes saying how some of these people that haven't supported him, how bad it's hurt them. And then he talks about, again, how great his presidency's going and what they're accomplishing. And then he took one question, it might have been two, on policies. But and that's what I think most of the people were there to ask him about. But if you ask every person there, they were laughing, having the best time. It was an incredible atmosphere. I think that impressed me the most with my experience was, again, there were about 30, 40 people taking pictures with them. So they said they would take one with my family. I said, well, that's really wonderful. All my family can have a picture with them. Well, before my family picture, he asked to have one with me personally. Then he brings my family up, and he introduces himself, and each of the kids introduce them to him. So he meets all four of my kids, takes time to talk with them all and make them feel nice and warm. And then he takes a picture with the family. And then he says, hey, I want to get one with just you and your wives. I mean, some people are paying $15,000 a picture. He took 3 with us, and he was so kind and patient with all of us. It was wonderful.
Does it reinforce? I mean, you've been a big backer for the president before he was ever president. Does it reinforce the belief you have about him, about the type of individual he is?
Well, I think the problem is there's two parts to it. He's a fighter, and he says things and goes after people. And we've never had a president like that before. It's always been, you expected the president to be more statesman, and that just isn't President Trump. He's going to fight back. And I say this to people, we had statesmen like McCain and Romney that, they were not going to, fight back. They were going to, be gentlemen, and they got annihilated. The left-leaning media, and much of it is now the Main Street media, just goes after people on the Republican side that have conservative principles and just destroys them. So maybe it took a guy that was going to fight back like President Trump to actually win and to get things accomplished. Imagine his first speech to the NATO group. He calls them all out for not paying enough money and making the United States pay for it all. And those guys were all in the corner. They showed photos of them. How many people would have the guts to do that except somebody who really speaks his mind? So listen, I've always his personality, I think, is a little bit different than the combative that you see when he's going after people. He was very nice and warm to the people in the round table and also to my family. What I've always appreciated and why I'm a big supporter of President Trump is the America First policies that he's articulated. If you listen to what he's trying to accomplish as campaign promises, and now you see what the promises that he's keeping with this as a president, you got to really, really admire, respect, and appreciate what he's done. Lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. Consumer confidence is almost at an all-time high forever. That's amazing in itself. African Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans all have the lowest unemployment rate in recorded time. Wages that they were saying were stagnant, they weren't going up, and now increased the most in 10 years since President Trump took over. And then when President Obama and his administration said, hey, we can't get over 2% GDP, that's a new norm. Well, now we're seeing that he had 4.2% his last quarter. And in fact, his first full year, he had almost 3%. So he's showing everybody that the detractors that they were wrong. And I think that's the best sign of the quality of a president is what they actually accomplish.
I've done 4 or 5 polls, maybe 5 polls in the last 2 weekends. I had a poll last night polling the Attorney General's race. And they all are starting to ask the same question, which is right track, wrong track. What is your sense? You don't just give speeches. You do a lot of listening out on the stump. And I want to ask you what you're hearing from people. Do people across CD3, are they convinced that things are getting better, that we are on the right track?
Who wouldn't? I mean, listen, if you're saying you don't believe the country's better now than it was 18 months ago, then you're a completely partisan person who just hates President Trump and the Republican Party. Obviously, we're much, much better off now than we were 18 months ago. And I hear that everywhere I go. Now, I hear a lot of people tell me, some of my previous donors, they said, I just can't support you, Danny, because you support President Trump. Some of them say, I just can't believe how you support President Trump. I can't, I'm not, these are just regular voters. I'm not going to support you. There are some people that will not support me because of President Trump, but it's always because of what they say his personality is, the tweets that he makes or the attacks that he makes on people. Not one person has said they don't support President Trump or myself because of his policy positions.
More to come from Danny, and we're going to talk about what happened last Friday. Boy, you want to talk about a whirlwind few days. You meet with the president on Thursday. You have a fundraiser on Friday morning. You have a debate, the only debate with Susie Lee. We're going to find out firsthand how that went for Danny Tarkanian. We'll do that and more coming up live and local now.
I am Jim Marchant, and I'm running for re-election for Assembly District 37. I will vote against any effort to raise your property taxes, against allowing Nevada to become a sanctuary state, against continued efforts to violate your Second Amendment rights, and against school districts being able to levy taxes on you. This is the most critical election in our history, and it is very important that you get out and vote for candidates like me that believe as you do. I am Jim Marchant, and I humbly ask for your support and vote. Paid for by the committee to elect Jim Marchant.
Are you among the millions of Americans who feel uncertain when it comes to their health care? Hey, KevinWall here. I'm happy to inform you there is a solution, and that solution is Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of like-minded people who work together to pay for their medical costs. There are no networks, so you choose your doctor and hospital. Liberty Health Share allows you to easily decide how, when, and where you will access health care. It could be the best practical, moral, and economical choice for you and your family. Starting at $107 a month for a single, up to $449 a month for a family, that's mom, dad, and all kids. This is the way health care should be. For information, call 855-585-4237. That's 855-585-4237. Or visit libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org. And regain control over your health care costs. Together, we're changing health care for good.
I'm Cosette Vergeri. I'm an attorney, and I'm a client of City National Bank. When I started my law practice, one of the very important things was choosing the right bank. The initial referral to City National Bank came from Richard Moon. He is my CPA.
She was looking to establish a banking relationship, and I had been with City National about 3 years.
There was a much more personal touch, much more interest in who I was as an individual, who I was as a lawyer, and what I needed to do with my business. And the online services are really great because I can manage my accounts from anywhere I'm traveling, which really helps me handle my business.
The referral did give me a date.
It did lead to a marriage. I would never think of leaving City National Bank.
The people you trust City National. Visit cnb.com to learn more. City National Bank, an RBC company. CNB, member FDIC.
Do you want to earn a higher rate of return than you're making in the stock market? I'm talking about beating the market year after year. Hi, I'm Greg Herleen. If you want to make more tax-free income, call me today at 888-738-1764. I specialize in helping people make more tax-free income with an IRA-approved retirement vehicle. And best of all, it's approved by the IRS. So what are you waiting on? Call me at 888-738-1764 and take control of your financial future with tax-free income. Call me at 888-738-1764. The consultation is absolutely free, so call me at 888-738-1764.
Horizon Trust Company is an independent passive custodian and is not associated or affiliated with and does not recommend, promote, or advise any specific investment opportunity, investment company, or any agents, employees, representatives, or other of such firms or entities. Investments are not FDIC insured, offer no bank guarantee, and may lose value.
Take control of your financial future. Call 888-738-1764.
Attention cat owners, the hottest product on the market for cats is Meow-Awana. You heard me, Meow-Awana. Relax, folks. Meow-Awana is 100% organic catnip. It's safe, all natural, USA manufactured, and designed to stimulate healthy activity for your cat. Choose from Meowie Wowie, Calico Kush, Purple Passion, and an entire line of toys, accessories, and apparel. Order now, get the KevinWall special, 15% off. Just use the promo code WALL at checkout. Go to meowawana.com. That's meowawana.com.
790 Las Vegas and 98.1 Palm Springs. Talk now. Talk that rocks.
It is live and local now. Danny Tarkanian in the house. What a whirlwind a few days it has been since the president was in town. Major fundraiser on Friday. Then of course the debate. One of the things that I think has come up just in the last week in this race is that we're learning more about Susie Lee. Everybody knew her as she's really rich. She's some sort of philanthropist. But now we're finding out she's got her hands out, and she's tapping into Clark County School District and other entities millions of dollars. And it's not a matter of her giving that money. It's a matter of she's
taking the money.
She's taking the money.
Sure. Look at her whole campaign premise has been that she's a philanthropist and that she's done all this great work first with this homeless shelter for the city of Las Vegas. It's called MASH. And then also now with the school district with some kind of program that she has.
Keep kids in school or something, community school.
Community schools. But what we found out, and the MASH wasn't hard to find out because it was all over the newspapers when this was being done, is they started this program to help the homeless, which is a great cause. But what you find out is they took $5 million and then an additional $1.9 million to finish off with it. So $7 million total from the city of Las Vegas and the county of Clark to pay for this program that was a colossal failure. In fact, the executive director said it did nothing for the homeless and that the board of directors were weak and that they didn't get accomplished the goals that they wanted. Oscar Goodman said it was a horrible charity and they ran them out of town. And she spent $7 million of taxpayer money just on that.
This wasn't money she donated. This wasn't $7 million she donated. This was other money.
It was money that was taken from the taxpayers, you and I, that was given to the city of Las Vegas or the county of Clark for our taxes. and it was given to this homeless shelter that did nothing. First of all, she should be embarrassed by it, but she goes out on campaigns and acts like it was a big accomplishment of hers, which is really scary. And then the one with the school district is a little bit different. We haven't seen, exactly what's been accomplished by this community schools things that you talk about. She claims that they've done all these wonderful things. All we know is that the school district is still failing. It's in fact, it was just reported again that it was at the bottom of all the states around the country. But in that, she took $1.9 million this past year alone, just this 1 year alone, from the Clark County School District budget to fund her programs, including paying her CEO $140,000 a year.
And we're short teachers, and we're spending money on this?
Yeah, in fact, we could have hired 3 teachers for what she paid her CEO. Again, I don't know much about her program. She claims that it's done all these wonderful things.
But they're still 50th in the nation.
Yeah, and she claimed that the MASH program, the homeless shelter, did all these wonderful things. We know now that they weren't. So it really takes away the only basis she's had for running. I think she thought that maybe she'd get by without people finding out about it before the election. But it's going to be fully disclosed to the public before it's all over.
Will there be another debate?
Oh, yeah, we're going to have 2 more debates and 3 town halls. Now, whether she shows up or not, I don't know. We're going to have them. She originally wanted to have 2 debates, and we said, great, we'll do 3 and 3 times. And then she questioned whether I would do a town hall once I got elected. I said, let's do them now while we're running for office. So we're going to have them. We're scheduling. We're going to invite her, and hopefully she'll attend. I don't think she will. If anybody gets a chance, watch Channel 8 Saturday at 4:30. It's the second half of our debate. Just watch it, and you can see if you think that Susie Lee is qualified to be in any public office right now. She does have the talking points down pretty good, but every time she moved past those talking points and there was a question that she had to go outside of it, you can see she has no clue what's going on. They asked her a question about how we're going to solve this water problem here in southern Nevada. She had 60 seconds to respond, and she spoke for about the whole 60 seconds without just saying again that there's a problem without any kind of solution. And that's what's wrong with Washington, D.C. You put people back there, they have no clue what's going on. They follow whatever their leadership says, which in this case would be Nancy Pelosi, and they get nothing done.
I want to ask you, because everybody's talking about it, the Brett Kavanaugh Senate Judiciary Committee hearing coming up tomorrow. What is your sense of what the end result will be? Will it be confirmed?
Well, we're going to find out tomorrow whether the lady who's testifying, the professor, has any credibility at all. There's a lot of questions regarding her credibility, not the least of which is she can't remember what year it happened, where it happened. She didn't tell anybody for 30 years, and when she told somebody after 30 years, she didn't name Kavanaugh. When she told somebody after 30 years, she said 2 people were there, and now she says there's 4. But the biggest problem with her credibility is all 4 people that she says were there have all denied that it happened. There's not one person that substantiates her statements. But I think when you make these type of allegations, you need to put them under oath in front of the public. Let them give her a chance to say their side of the story. If she lies under oath, hopefully they'll be able to prosecute her. And at the same time, Kavanaugh will have an opportunity to refute those allegations, and you can see him with what his demeanor is and how he answers the question, whether you believe him or not.
I want to ask you, the ads are starting to come out. Susie Lee has an ad out that equates you to a con man.
The Democrat, the DCCC, the same group that ran the other ad that defamed me, that I'm in the middle of a lawsuit with Jackie Rosen in, which, of course, we're going to be adding the DCCC to that lawsuit, too. But, yeah, it's a DCCC. This is their tactic. They cannot win on the issues. They know that. Then who's going to elect somebody in today's environment that says, hey, we're going to pull back from what President Trump is doing with the economy, with our national security and with the border security? Who's going to say, hey, that sounds like a great idea. Let's go vote for this person? Of course not. There's no way she can convince them to vote for her based upon the issues. So they're going to, again, lie about me. They'll end up being sued again, and I'll win my lawsuit against them. But, that only is a monetary factor. We have to win these elections to stop people like this from lying. And, again, I ask the listeners, if someone is going to lie just to get elected, why are you surprised that they lie when they're in Washington, D.C.? That's what's wrong with Washington, D.C. We keep electing people that lie the best. In fact, and that's what these ads are. They're bringing up the same lies that I've already won lawsuits on. They're not true, and they hope that there's enough people that will believe it.
In a final couple of minutes, got to ask you, you got a major event coming up later this week involving Don Jr. and Kimberly Guilfoyle, the former Fox News host, member of the Five. Boy, what a coup to get those two out here.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing the support I've gotten, excuse me, in the past week. In fact, it was about 2 weeks ago, somebody who claims to be a journalist had wrote a story saying National Republicans abandoned Tarkanian. And since then, we've seen two super PACs that have come in and have bought $4 million in my race. Now, it sounds like a lot, but the Democrats have already bought $5 million against me. But now at least I have somebody on my end supporting us. Then we had the president come and do the rally, and he invited me to speak before it. Then we had the fundraiser by the president, which was off the charts. And we conclude it's actually tonight that we're going to have the fundraiser. And we had to turn people away. The facility seats 250 people, and we have over 250 people attending. We had to turn them away. We had a goal of $50,000 we hope to raise. We're going to be closer to $100,000. It's amazing. And most of the, you have to say part of it is Don Jr. and Kimberly for attending. But I have an incredible host committee that went out. Julie Herford, Pauline Lee, Dr. Odell, Phil Hoffman. We got some great people that helped us fill this place up. It's going to be a great, exciting event tonight.
Can people come? Can they buy tickets? Can they? I mean, what's the deal?
Unfortunately, we have no more room.
Sold out. Come on, please.
But you can go to the website and contribute if you like. TARKNV.com. As much as we're raising, Susie Lee's raised more. She's got twice as much TV bought than we have right now.
And when she needs to, she can just cut a check on her own.
She's done it in the last election.
She's rich. Danny, thanks so much, man. Always appreciate having you in. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's Danny Tarkanian running in CD3. He was great.